had ended up having the surgery, I had thought that I was just gonna wake up, they were just gonna take the baby out and then everything was just gonna be fine. But they said that my stomach had ended up filling up with blood so bad to the point to where it just popped and erupted. Like, they told me if I would have never came in, probably like 3 hours later, I probably would have died.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of my channel. And today I just want to switch gears and talk about a topic that we don't usually discuss a lot that really affects a lot of people in this world. So if you feel like this may be something that you're sensitive to, then I hope that you stay around to listen to the story that you're about to hear. But if not, then it was great to see you, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay, my name is Arvita Clay. I've experienced 3 miscarriages since 2020. I had first found out in June 18 that I need to have surgery. I had ended up having a laparoscopic surgery, like for endometriosis, like when they go into my stomach and they go into my uterus, and then they found polyps. They took the polyps out, and then the doctor had ended up telling me that I wouldn't be able to have a baby on my own. And then a month later, I ended up getting pregnant with a ectopic pregnancy. When I had ended up getting pregnant with the ectopic pregnancy, I was at work, working at the cabinet shop. I had started doing some lifting, and then I called the pregnancy resource center. And when I had ended up calling the pregnancy resource center, everybody kept telling me that it was just normal that me was bleeding because it's part of early pregnancy. So one night I had ended up like getting real dizzy, lightheaded, feeling like I was finna fall out. My doctor had ended up telling me to come in the next morning. So I had ended up going the next morning to there. So we did an ultrasound. By the next morning had came, I couldn't even barely stand up. Like, the pain was bad, could barely walk. When I had ended up walking into the hospital, I couldn't even walk to the hospital. They had ended up giving me a wheelchair. So I go off in there, we do an ultrasound. They had ended up telling me that I was suffering like a ectopic pregnancy, that my tube had ended up erupting. So I had ended up undergoing surgery and stuff that day. And when I had ended up undergoing surgery that day, I had ended up getting my tube took out too. So I only got one fallopian tube on my left side. I got both of my ovaries, but I just got one fallopian tube on my...
How did you feel having to do that so early on?
I had ended up, it ain't feel good, because when I had ended up having the surgery, I had thought that I was just going to wake up, they were just going to take the baby out, and then everything was just going to be fine. But they said that my stomach had ended up filling up with blood so bad to the point to where it just popped and erupted. Like, they told me if I would have never came in, probably like 3 hours later, I probably would have died. So then, after I had that pregnancy, I had that one in October 27, 2020. And February 14 of 2021, I had ended up getting pregnant again. And then went to the doctor, everything in the right place and everything like that. I went taking prenatal vitamins, so the baby wasn't developing like fuller and stuff like it should have been. And so by me not taking the prenatal vitamins, the spinal cord and the brain and stuff, it wasn't developing. So that one had ended up passing too.
And this is the second one?
Yeah, that's the second one.
In 2 years?
Yeah, that happened like in less than like 6 months apart.
What kind of toll did that take on you emotionally, mentally?
It had me depressed for a long time. It had me ended up depressed. And then I had ended up losing hope because I ain't never thought that I was going to end up getting pregnant again.
And this last time?
Yeah, this last time everything was cool. I had ended up going to the doctor. I had found out in December, like a week after my birthday, I ended up going to the health department. Everybody said that it looked good. I had got my little paper saying that, like, when I'd be able to have birth. I was supposed to give birth, like, August 21st, but I ended up, like, going to go do my ultrasound, like, by me being like so high risk at that point, I guess they wanted to like do weekly visits on me. So I was going to the doctor every week. So I go to the doctor every week. And then everything was good. On February 13th, I had ended up taking this pill from this girl, and it wasn't. I had ended up getting dizzy at work. It wasn't a pill, a dizzy pill. It was a pill for abort, and she never did tell me that. And they had ended up telling me that like it was in my system when I had to end up getting birth at the hospital. Okay, after she had ended up giving me the pill, like I said, I did start experiencing cramps and stuff. But as soon as I had ended up getting out the hospital, I started staying on bees by my son. I had ended up going to I had ended up getting out the hospital on a Sunday. On that Tuesday, I was already at Jefferson County trying to file a police report on her by giving me a pill to abort. She said she didn't know like what type of pill. She said she didn't know like she thought she had her pills mixed up. But when you check, I was like 14 weeks pregnant at this time. Like, why wouldn't you check and see like what type of pill it was? Like, I was but like when I had ended up getting these, thinking I was finna flip over. So at first for a long time, like I had ended up on myself because I was like, okay, I could have looked at the pill and took the pill, but then at the same time I was cool with the girl and I had ended up trusting her.
So you didn't want to make a fuss about it. So now, seeing how things have played out, how do you feel about that whole situation? Does it make you feel sad? Do you get angry when you think about it? Or do you really want revenge?
All three of them, but then at the same time I'll be like, you know what, like God just gonna deal with her at another time. Like he just gonna deal with her like later on down the road. But I had ended up waking up like when I had ended up taking the pill, probably like I never did feel like no side effects from the pill until probably like I took the pill early that morning like 9 o'clock. It was supposed to be like a pill that started like an M for dizziness because I get dizzy and stuff a lot. I got vitro, whatever you want to call it. Later on that day, like around about 4 o'clock, I guess I had ended up starting like experiencing the contractions. Later on, and I had ended up taking like a Tylenol because they told me that I could say Tylenol because it's kind of safe for it. Tylenol wasn't doing nothing for it. I had ended up waking up at maybe about 3 o'clock the next day on Valentine's Day, and I went to go pee. I walked a couple of steps, and then next thing I just ended up like bleeding, and then like having like a whole bunch of pain. I ended up calling the ambulance. When I had ended up calling the ambulance, I had ended up walking outside to the ambulance, and got on the truck, and I had ended up feeling like I was just about to fall out, and I felt like I did fall out because I had ended up like kind of blacking out because like when I had ended up blacking out, we had woke up at the hospital. When we had got to the hospital, they had ended up taking me to the OB unit, to the emergency room, and had told me that I needed to go ahead and push it out because it wasn't coming out. So I had to end up pushing it out. So next thing I pushed them out. I had ended up trying to push the placenta out, but it wouldn't come out. So I had to end up going into emergency surgery.
And during that surgery, what did they have to do?
They had ended up like doing kind of like, they had ended up going in, taking the placenta and everything else out. Then I had to get a lot of blood transfusions because I had ended up losing like 5 liters of blood.
That day?
Yeah, within a couple of hours.
How do you feel now moving forward? Do you feel hopeful? Do you feel like it's over? How do you feel?
I feel hopeful. I feel like it'll come one day.